Hello people and welcome to another Planetside 2 video. Hope you're all doing good. My name is MattiAce and today I want to talk about a couple of things that has been going through my mind a bit while playing this game. It has to do with balance like so many other times, but not so much about the balance between the three ESFs, but mostly about the balance between air to ground and the way that you can deny reward in this game by suicide. Have been certain playstyles and certain choices of weapons that will just almost automatically give you a lot of kills, especially if you are going for kills only and not care so much about the team play aspect of the game. I also do find that Planetside 2 lacks infantry gameplay. Now obviously the lack of a metagame has played a big role into how this game has progressed, and we're probably going to see some major changes about that soon, hopefully. But one of the things has to do also with certain playstyles and using just purely lame and cheesy tactics in order to just deny the kill or the points that should have rightfully be given to the victor of an engagement or to the person that clearly are about to destroy a vehicle. Now the fact that you can do this in Planetside 2, it affects the way people play, and instead of going for like dogfights or taking out Sunders and tanks as an ESF pilot, you might as well just do this. There is a reason why I don't have all that much air to ground on my channel. I do have it, but I mostly focus at air to air. And I mean, just look at this. Yeah, that's right boys. 6 people at the point. That's how you take a base. And this is the thing about stuff like this. I have like thousands and thousands of kills just farming infantry with rocket pods. It's just so stupid really. And the fact is that, especially when you've been dogfighting and you see people just bailing out, or you hammer and hammer all you have at a Sunderer just to see it being deconstructed, I'm thinking to myself, why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I just go for the easy farming, killing, infantry, rocket spamming bullshit? And I know that some of you guys might be thinking like, okay, so if you've been following my channel, you've seen all these dogfighting videos that I have and all these air-to-air videos or whatnot, and it might look like I always get the kill when I shoot down an ESF or defeat my opponent, but the fact is that is not the truth, because even though a lot of my videos are about Empire-specific balance, especially the ESFs obviously, I'm trying to mostly show you gameplay that makes Planetside 2 look good, look cool, and that would make people that haven't started playing Planetside 2 yet to pick up this game and see how epic and fun it can actually be. And this is also why balance is one of the main topics on my YouTube channels and in every discussion that I'm part of, because it is such an important factor in the game. Balance between different weapons, balance between different types of weapons, different types of vehicles. And what is also going to be extremely important if this game actually does make it to MLG, which we've heard the announcement from MattiAce, and I am one of those guys who hope for this very much. I would be very thrilled if this would be an actual functioning esports game. And if this game does make it to the esports scene, believe me, I won't be spending much of my time farming infantry with rocket pods anymore. And that was probably two of the most important keywords here. Farming infantry. I don't know why it has become like this in Planetside 2, but it seems like every vehicle in this game is designed for farming infantry. It's tanks, aircrafts, and yeah, there's mech suits as well. And even if mech suits doesn't rely on splash damage, they can completely deny a real infantry fight anytime a larger group of people decide to just pull maxes. So now, the rocket pods and the Zephyr of the Liberator has been nerfed, rightfully so. Whatever happened to the rocket pods, I think should have been taken a step further. They still have too much splash damage, and they are still a little bit too inaccurate. I would like to see them being put into more of an anti-vehicle role, where less splash damage, more accuracy, higher projectile speed. Another suggestion I would give to the rocket pods is that they should have a little bit more damage for direct hits towards vehicles, but also less damage when hit directly behind a tank, for example. If the rocket pods are designed more as an anti-tank role, the shooting from behind with one barrage of rockets has to go, because that would just make it too easy and too imbalanced in favor for the ESFs. Also, I would suggest that all tanks, including light tanks and the gunners, should be able to angle up their turrets higher. Nice fight there, by the way, Loki. I would say by like maybe 20% more angle so that they can defend themselves and shoot down ESFs. Also, the lightning heat should one-shot an ESF, as should the Enforcer and the Hellbird, as well as some of the gunner weapons for the other tanks, being the secondary of the Prowlers and the Mag Riders. So now I know that most experienced tankers, they shoot down ESFs like this on regular basis maybe, but to be honest, how many times do you shoot down an ESF for every, let's say, 50 infantry you kill, or for every 100 infantry you kill with your main battle tank or your lightning? Probably not that many. And I'm pretty sure most people would agree with me that in a one-on-one battle between an ESF and a tank, an ESF will clearly be the victor. On the other hand, it is much easier for tankers to stick with groups of people and rely on the cover of anti-air fire. And that way the ESF will have no chance of even getting close enough to kill a tank. Now the result of this has been what we see today, where tanks go for farming infantry, ESFs goes for farming infantry, Liberators goes for farming infantry, Maxes are designed to farm infantry, and it's all about farming infantry. Oh, look, infantry. So what my suggestions are going for is that first of all, the ESFs should be more focused on taking out tanks and taking out other ESFs, and obviously other aircrafts, of course. So giving the ESF more of an anti-vehicle role is one of the main purposes with my suggestions, and also that the tanks should be able to fight back, and not making this game so much of like rock, paper, scissors, where if you have anti-air, then anti-air will definitely just deny air, and ESF versus a tank, the tank will not have a chance, but instead making it a game of player versus player. Instead of what we see now is almost like an auto win as long as you have a weapon that is designed for that specific situation. And it's not like I think that Flak or Skyguard should be removed from the game, nor do I think they should be nerfed. I actually would suggest kind of like the opposite, well, not a buff, but an extra or an additional anti-air gun or anti-air weapon, but this time make it a fun and skill-based weapon that actually is just that, a player skill-based weapon, instead of just like, okay, I was in the right situation and I had the superior weapon, therefore I will automatically win the engagement. Another thing that the ESF needs to have nerfed is hovering. If you are standing completely still in the air, you should just drop altitude fast, because if you combine that nerf with the lack of splash damage that I have suggested, it will be a lot harder to just kill infantry, and it will also be harder to put enough rockets on tanks and other vehicles. Now on the buff side of ESFs, I would say that the speed should be increased a little bit, even for the Mosquito, and then the Sight and the Reaver should have very much more similar speed to the Mosquito. Also the vertical thrust should be increased, mostly to avoid rammers, and also in order to give them some strafing possibilities and more maneuverability. And the thing is that if you were to use vertical thrust the right way, like just tapping space quickly, that would give you an artificial hover capability, but it would be more up to the players to be able to maneuver the aircraft instead of some auto hovering. I would also like to see vertical thrust respond faster and respond while moving forward. And when it comes to the suicide tactics, I would say that if you have dealt more than 50% damage to a vehicle and he suicides for whatever reason, you should be rewarded with that kill. So maybe 50% is not the perfect number for this, but I'm sure you understand what I'm getting at. I also want to mention that one of the weapons that definitely was a step in the right direction was the introduction of the anti-vehicle turret for the engineer class. What I don't like about it is that it is very situational. It takes a lot of time to set it up, and you have a lot of surfaces where you cannot set it up at all. And by the time you actually have set it up, if you are able to, your chances of using it might just as well be over. And the thing about a game like this is that things change so fast, it happens in less than a second, and whether or not you're going to be able to use this turret in the upcoming situation is going to be decided almost like as if you were rolling dice. I also was planning on coming out with a tutorial about how to use the anti-vehicle turret that I just talked about, but I just recently found a very good tutorial about it made by a player called Wrel. I will give you the link in the description. You should definitely check it out because it's a really good tutorial. Now, when it comes to all the suggestions I've come up with here, I am really eager to hear your opinions about it, and obviously your alternatives and your thoughts. So please let me know what you think. And I'm sure there are people that have better and more detailed suggestions of how we could make a better game. Because what this game lacks, in my opinion, aside from the obvious meta game, is a good infantry gameplay. Vehicles and maxes have taken over too much. But I still believe in this game. I still think that mainly this game is a lot of fun and it can be a lot better. This game has so much potential. Oh yes, and another thing we need is eSports support. Clone Wars, yes please. So what is happening with the MLG plans? So yes, that will be all, people. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think again, and stay tuned for more content. So bye for now.